What's going on? What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another coffee and conversation. I'm looking forward to this conversation. I'm looking forward to what's going to come out. Hopefully, this will help somebody. Hopefully, this will empower somebody to go out and um, get healthier and find different methods or anything that you get from listening to tonight's conversation that you learn something from it. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. Definitely looking forward to the conversation. So without further ado, I'm looking forward to having my guest on tonight, Miss Brittany Payton. How you doing,
Hey,
ma'am?
what's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on? I'm super excited to be here. Woo! I love it. I love
Yes,
that you said on
ma'am.
tonight. On tonight.
Tonight. On
On
tonight.
tonight. Let's go.
Right. Right. So, Brittany, introduce yourself for those who do not know you.
Okay, well, hello everybody. My name is Brittany Payton. I am also known as the Honest RD. Okay, so RD, what does that mean? It means registered dietitian. So I'm a registered dietitian, I'm a fitness coach, and I'm also a mindset coach. And so, with that, what I do with nutrition, I help women turn from chronic illness and sickness like diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, heart disease, all of these things, even just, stubborn weight gain, all these things, GI upset, hormonal changes, going through menopause, all these things I help them with turn from chronic sickness to total wellness. So that way they know how to take care of themselves, not just now, but for the long haul. Because a lot of times we do real good in our 20s, our 30s. You can raise your hand if that's you. Okay. You did really good in your 20s and your 30s, and you were like, yes, this is my body, I know what to do with it. So if I want to lose a little weight or get a little healthier or whatever, I just got to do a little extra of this or a little extra of that. And then when we get to our like 30s, late 30s, 40s, 50s, it's like, whose body is this? Okay. Whose body is this? What's going on? So we're gaining extra weight, things are going on, we're going to doctor's visits, diagnoses are coming up, different things are happening, and we're like, wait, hold on. Plus, two, life is getting busier and all that good stuff. And so I help people to implement the things that they know and refine the things that they think they know with proper strategy, so that way they can ultimately get great information and not just the stuff you see on GMA or you talk about with your people at the water cooler and stuff, but you get good, great information, knowledge that's going to take you far, but evidence-based information that's really going to get you to where you need to go.
Okay. Okay. So, when we talk about nutrition, all
Mm-hmm.
right, we're going to go ahead and start this off right.
All right.
So, nutrition is a word that, when you hear it, you automatically think of, oh, I can't eat what I want.
Ooh.
I gotta eat healthy. I gotta eat, um, stuff that's not really seasoned. I gotta,
Oh,
I
that's
gotta,
my feelings now.
I gotta, I gotta eat this. I gotta eat that. I can't have, that's saying I can't have my cake and my ice cream too. So I gotta choose one or the other. And later we're going to talk about myths when it comes to nutrition. But I want to just speak on when it comes to nutrition, what do you look at when it comes to nutrition? And when people say all those things, how do you combat that and tell them when they say those things?
I love that. That is an amazing question because I think you said what a lot of people say. And look, if y'all are watching this and you're in the comments, go ahead in the comments. Let me know what you think nutrition is. I think that is so important because I think everybody's definition is a little bit different. And I love what you said. Like when people think nutrition, they think I have to take away. It is restriction, it is take away, it's diet, it's all these things. And it's like, oh no, that's not at all what it is. That's not at all what it is. I help people and I want you to know that you want to be empowered on how to eat the right things. And so one thing I love, we like movies. Myself and my husband, we love movies. And so what we'll do is we'll watch movies and I'll take things away. And I'm like, oh, that was good. So there's a movie called The Great Debaters. Did you see The Great Debaters?
Yes,
Oh,
I
yes, you did.
love.
Come on,
Yes,
let's
I,
go.
I
So
love that movie.
yes. So say it with me if you know what I'm about to say. So we have to do what we want to do, or do what we got to do so we can do what we want to do, right?
Yep.
And so the thing is, when people think about nutrition, they're often thinking restriction. And if you're thinking restriction when you're thinking nutrition, you're thinking wrong. You want to think empowerment. You want to think, how can I enable myself to be healthy? And one thing that I show my clients all the time, it's not about what you need to take away. It's what you need to implement into your routine so that way you can do it. So I call myself a non-diet dietitian. So it's not about dieting and taking things away and getting things out of your routine, but it's about, all right, what can I have in my routine? What do I need to have more of? Because generally it's lacking something. And then how do I have more of those things so I can do the things that I gotta do, but I can also do the things that I want to do. So you can have your cake and you can go out and have something to eat, and you can eat on vacation, and you can go out on a date night, and you can do all the things, and you can go to a party, and you can go to a get together and not have to be worried about food because you're like, oh, I'm trying to lose weight, or I'm diabetic, or I'm this. No, it's empowering yourself with knowledge and information. All right. So that way you can make food actually your medicine. So you can use food to heal your body.
Okay. So when you said implement into a routine,
Mhm.
that's the hardest thing because I know people try to do the meal prep. So I used to, and Lord knows I was waiting for this conversation because I was like, I need some help because
Mhm.
I started doing meal prep, but meal prep, it takes time, and then you got to watch what some of us we look at meal prep as, okay, I'm cooking for the whole week. Am I cooking breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and all of that? And so it's one of those things, like they say, 21 days, you catch on and do a habit. But when you start off and you start that routine, like, talk about how can a person be able to implement a routine like that.
Okay, so I love what you just said because a lot of people say that it takes 21 days or 30 days or 90 days to implement a routine. Have you ever done anything for 90 days?
Ooh,
Yes, you have. I know you have.
yeah, probably, yeah, yeah,
You have. Okay, let's bring it back. Have you ever done anything for 21 days?
yes,
Okay, so you've done something for 21 days before. And so as you're doing things for 21 days, like we know what that can feel like, okay, so it feels good. I'm doing it for 21 days, but then let you go another week and not do it. Guess what? Uh-oh, you back to where you were at day 0 because
right,
you back. So the thing is, I always want to give you a disclaimer that it takes way more than 21 days. The thing is, that came from, a lot of people don't know, but that phrase of 21 days or 30 days came from a study that was done a while ago where it was a doctor that he was a plastic surgeon. And the plastic surgeon said, hey, it takes about 30 days for somebody to recognize something, a new change in your body over time. Okay. So say, for instance, you get your nose done. Okay. Don't get your nose done, Kevin. Okay.
I won't.
Nose done. All
I
right.
won't.
All right. Don't do that. Don't do that. But if you get, say, for instance, you get some kind of plastic surgery or something, some kind of physical change has happened in your body, it takes you about 30 days for you to start recognizing that change on your physical person. But that does not pertain to habits. The thing is, there's been studies and many studies that have shown that it takes anywhere from 9 to 12 months to actually create a habit. Okay. So 9 to 12 months, that's completely different to 21 days. Because the thing is, 9 to 12 months, you're starting to get into that rhythm of doing it and getting what I like to call internal executability. So you remember how when you were a kid and oftentimes it would be like, all right, your parents would be like, okay, go brush your teeth. Go wash your face, and then I hope that nobody today, for all of us adults that are watching, right? Nobody needs to tell you, go brush your teeth, go wash your face. You do it without thinking about it. It's something that you cannot see your day complete, or you can't go out in public without doing prayerfully. Okay.
Right,
So
right,
that's the thing that we want to make sure that we know that it's about consistency. It's about consistency, creating a habit. And so the thing is, if you got to first off wipe your brain clean. Okay. So put the eraser on the board and say, all right, it's going to be way more than 21 days. All right.
right,
It's going to be way more than 21 days. I'm going to have to show up for myself consistently, and give yourself a year. Give yourself a year to consistently show up for yourself, to do something different. And then after that, it'll start feeling really normal. And then you can not get through a day without feeling like, oh, I missed doing that. Why didn't I do that today? What's going on? So it's going to take a while. And the thing is, most people are going to get started and stop and get started and stop and get started and stop. And so you know why this is a problem for most people? Most people start, and this is one thing that I teach my clients, is it's mindset. It's got to be mindset. And what we're doing now in my program is we're doing the consistency series. All right, so I'm teaching them how to be consistent, and so it's some mindset things that need to shift in order for you to become consistent. And so one great thing about this is to know that, all right, so I got to think, who do I want to be? What's my outcome that I want at the end of this? Okay, great. I know what I want. So know what you want. What are the outcomes that are going to come from the end of this? And then after that, what is it going to take for me to get there? What behaviors, what habits am I going to need to do? What is that frequency that I'm going to need to hit up on a regular basis? What are the things that I need to do daily? What are the things that I need to do weekly? What are the things that I need to do monthly? Okay, for those habits to become routine. So, and then from there, it's like, okay, now what exactly, this is the big one. You ready? Who do I need to be? Who do I need to be in order to get these things accomplished? Okay. So do I need to be better with time management? Do I need to be more consistent? Do I need to not be so easily swayed by others? Do I need to not be afraid of doing something different? Okay. Do I need to not be so sabotaging for myself and wanting things for myself and wanting to glorify my flesh and this is what I want when I want it kind of thing, more than I want the outcome and the goal? You know, so you have to think, what kind of person do I need to be? What are those barriers that are getting in the way that I need to break through? So that way I can then do this thing. Most people, they start up with the New Year's resolution thing and it's like, yes, I'm getting started. Let's go, right? You're shaking your head already, right? So New Year's resolution, here we go. I'm about to get started. Let's do this. And then they go in the store. First off, they get the little new workout clothes. You get your little workout stuff and then you go get your gym bag and you go to the gym and stuff. And then you go to the grocery store, you buy up all the good food. In the first week of the year, there's no produce. And I'm mad at everybody because they done took it all. Okay. But don't worry, it'll be back week 3.
Right.
Because that's about the time. The thing is, first week, you're like, yes, I'm into it. Let's go. Second week, you're like, all right, they need me at work. I'm going to go. And I say I'm going to do 4 days this week. I'm going to do 3. And then I'm going to tell myself I'm going to do that other 4th day on the weekend. And then I'll sleep in on the weekend. It doesn't happen. And then on the 3rd week, what happens? You forget where the gym is. All right. Your bag is God knows where, those clothes haven't been washed. Like, I don't know. There's something different going on. And then by week 4, like we're totally falling off. So the thing is, you got to get through here first to let it go through here. So it flows from the head down. So any change that you can't get consistent with is because you haven't gotten consistent here yet. You haven't worked on changing your mindset and getting yourself to a place where you're like, okay, what is consistency? What is that for me? First off, what do I want? Most people have flimsy goals. Okay, so what do I want? How do I get out of those flimsy goals? And who do I need to be in order to get this? And how do I develop that person so that way I can get there? So that's super crazy important. And then, okay, now I know what I want to do. I want to do meal planning. Okay, great. Now, do I have a setup to do it? Do I have a framework? Or am I just looking on Facebook and I'm seeing that somebody's doing chicken, broccoli, and rice for 85 days, and then that you bored to death on day 2, you like heat that up again one more time and see what happens. Okay. Heat that up one more time again, because I don't want to eat that again. And so you need to learn how to do meal prep so that way you can do it effectively after that. So you need to, and that's part of consistency, is learning how to do things that you don't know how to do. And that's one of the biggest issues, is a lot of times people think they know how to do stuff because we've seen it maybe online or whatever, or that's gotta be easy. If it was so easy, I wouldn't have a job. Okay. So I teach people how to do the easy things and implement, you know what I mean?
Correct. So you said so much and I gotta break it down. So
Break it down.
One of the things you said that I gotta go back to is eating on vacation. Now, I'm gonna throw something at you because this is people's downfall. Well, let me not say people's downfall. This is my downfall.
Come on now, be honest with yourself.
So when it comes to going on a cruise,
come on.
that is the hardest thing
Mm.
when you're trying to watch what you eat, but they give you. I mean, come on, Brittany. So uh, let's be real.
Okay.
They have food available
Everywhere.
24/7. I mean, ice cream, pizza, all the stuff that you should not be eating,
Okay.
but they give it to you, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like, yes, I can make the decision to say, I probably don't need to eat that. It's 12 o'clock at night, but you're on vacation. You're supposed to live free. You're supposed to do whatever. It's a week. Say, oh, I'm gonna do what I want to do, and then when I get back home, then I'm gonna turn back into normal, and then I'm gonna go back to the gym and work it off. So somebody that's thinking how I'm thinking,
Mm-hmm.
what would you tell us when it comes to vacation, when it comes to cruises? Because I'm telling you, them cruises know what they be doing, especially if you trying to be on a diet. You don't need to go on a cruise. I'm just saying.
Just saying, right?
I'm just saying.
But okay, look. First off, I want you to look at the comments. All right, I got my clients. Some of my clients are in the comments right now. Laura, she's one of my clients. I taught her how to eat so she can go on a cruise. Kim is in the comments. Like, look, let me tell you, they are rocking it out, and they went on vacation, came back, had lost weight, and enjoyed themselves thoroughly. So here's the thing: what you want to think about is when you're trying to eat healthy. Okay, if you are doing a diet, you already punishing yourself. The thing is, when you were a kid, did you like to be punished? Were you
No.
like, oh, mama, please punish me. Grandma, punish me. I love to be punished. Please punish me. Were you? No. No, nobody was like that. The thing is, when you are thinking, okay, when it comes to dieting is punishment. That's why I'm a non-diet dietitian. I don't teach you how to take all the things that you like away. I teach you how to have a better relationship with food. So the thing is, when you are doing the whole, all right, I'm about to go on a cruise, I'm about to get slim, I'm about to get skinny, I'm about to get Speedo ready, right? I'm about to be Speedo ready.
Now I don't know about the Speedos,
but about the Speedos, right?
No, right.
Oh my God! But if you about to go in there and you about to be, bikini ready for the ladies or whatever it is, and you trying to go on this cruise and you want to look right when you take off this sarong and stuff like that, and you don't want to scare nobody or you don't want to scare yourself, okay? Because you haven't been looking like that in a little bit. But what happens is, okay, what do we need to do? What do we need to do? We need to get to a place where it's like, oh, I have to think, not diet. I have to think healthy. Like the thing is, do you want to be healthy? Not just on this cruise, but do you want to be healthy when you turn 80? Do you want to be healthy when you get back? The thing is, the hardest thing is going on a cruise and then coming back and then saying, oh yeah, I got to get back to my routine. I'm taking everything away. Boring. Nobody wants to do that. So that's showing you right there. You have a bad relationship with food. You have a bad relationship with food. So, because the thing is, your idea is I need to take all the stuff that I like away so that I can be the person that I want to be. Well, guess what? That's a horrible way to live. Screw it. I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do it. I wouldn't start anything like that because that's not productive. The thing is, you have to say, okay, beforehand, this is why you work with somebody that really knows what they're doing and saying, okay, help me learn how to have unlock a good relationship with food. So that way I can then eat healthy, take care of myself, but enjoy food at any time, at any function, at home. And I'm not waiting to eat these things, but I know how to eat them in a right way so I can do what I got to do, so I can do what I want to do. And that's a skill. That's something that you have to learn. So that way, when you go on vacation, it's not like I'm taking vacation from doing what I was doing before, because you don't want to take vacation from that, because that's taking vacation from you taking care of yourself. I don't want to take vacation from me taking care of myself, because the thing is, when you do it the right way, you feel so good. You don't want to trade that in. You don't want to trade that in. And you're still enjoying the things that you're eating. So let me tell you, I love cruising. So don't get it twisted. I love cruising, and I'm a dietitian because I love food. Okay. So the thing is, I will go on a cruise. I will eat what I want. But the thing is, because I have a good relationship with food and I don't have to say yes to everything that's offered, which is one big thing that happens. Oftentimes when we feel like somebody is offering us food at holidays, on vacation or whatever, what happens is you feel like, I gotta I gotta do it. I gotta say yes. They offering it. Everybody else is eating it. You don't have to have it. But a lot of times we never check in with ourselves to see, do I really want this? Am I really hungry? Or is it just being offered? And I feel like I have to have it. And I've got this mindset of I'm on vacation. I love what you said earlier, and I want to live free. Freedom is structure. It's funny. A lot of people don't think about that. Freedom is structure. Freedom is when you have a routine that you're sticking to. Think about people who really you admire. Okay. People love Steph Curry. People love Oprah. People love LeBron James. I'm not big into sports, but you get it. What's his name? Patrick Mahomes, whatever. If you look at these people's lives that you admire, okay, that really have power, who really have freedom to do what they want to do, what do they have? They have structure. They have structure. There's freedom in structure, because when you do what you need to do, you can do whatever you want to do. Okay. Because you know how to do it, and you know how to do it in a way that's going to honor you and not that's going to totally tear you down. Okay. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. Thank you. Thank you. Ooh, amen. Amen. Amen.
Think different. That's a mindset piece. That mindset piece is a monster.
But it's the mindset that you have to really take into these things, because you got to tell yourself, because I mean, so I was telling Marin last week that I felt like Luther, big Luther, small Luther, because I keep going up and down, and my issue, one of my issues is when it comes to your mindset, because when I did lose the weight, I lost like 35 pounds. I did 3 miles 5 times a week, and I did that consistently for 4 months. Then something happened, and then I just said, I'm not going to go to the gym, and I'm not going to work out. And I turned back to my old habits. But the mindset when I was losing the weight was, hey, do you really need that? Do you really, like, it's 12 o'clock midnight. Why are you up here eating Little Debbie? Like, do you need Little Debbie?
Right.
Because like
you about to you?
Right.
That's you. That's huge. Is Little Debbie helping you, or is she hurting you? And that's what you got to think sometimes too. Like, is this going to help me, or is this going to hurt me? And that's the thing of like, okay, so it could help you a little bit. Like, okay, it tastes good. I have a craving for it. I want it. And sometimes you might just need a couple bites, get over it, keep it moving. But a lot of times we like, but I want it. And so it doesn't matter. You're not thinking, is it helping me or is it hurting me? You're just thinking, I want it, and I want it now. We act like little kids when it comes to food sometimes. When that's why I said that structure piece is so important. We act like little kids. Like, it's like, oh, I gotta have it. And then you cry and get upset and have an attitude until you have it. And then, thank you. Okay. And it's like, wait a minute. And so the thing is, a lot of it is we need to be taught how to grow up when it comes to food, when it comes to nutrition. We need to be taught how to grow up. Because think about it. Why am I eating my little same snack cakes as I was eating when I was in my 3rd grade lunchbox?
But they
good, right? But they good. But I want them.
Because I'm gonna tell you, them oatmeal pies be banging. But that's just, again, like you said, a different mindset, because I'm going to the store to buy them, and I feel like it starts when you go into the store. Because you're making up your mind and saying, hey, I'm going to go and buy this, and then you're asking yourself, do I really need this? And you got one on each shoulder. Go ahead and get it. You haven't had it in a while. Go ahead and get it. And then the other shoulders, now you don't need that. When the last time you worked out? When last time, like, how much weight? Like, you can't even fit into some of your so it's a mindset that you have to really focus on, and sometimes it is hard. And I want you to talk about when you were talking about it, it really hit home when you said longevity, because in the African American community, it's diabetes, high blood pressure, because when we look back on the past eras, the past generations, and how we got all this soul food and we got all this food that, you know, when we start realizing that it's good, but only to a certain point, we still
Mhm.
gotta watch what we eat. And so I think that's the biggest thing. But I want you to really talk about that because it's important to know about, you know, understanding what you eat and understanding the longevity, like you said. Like, do I want to just enjoy it for the moment, or do I want to be able to enjoy it for the longer road and say, hey, I don't need this right now because I'm thinking about the longer road
Mhm.
versus just the short time.
Yeah, yeah. So you got to think at any point, like when it comes to food, like you want to think, what is my long-term plan? A lot of times when it comes to people's finances, they think about what's my long-term plan. You go to school, what's my long-term plan? What's the job I want to get? What's the goal that I want to achieve? If I'm going and doing some, maybe some extra education or continuing education at my job, what do I want to get? You know what you want to get for the long haul. You're setting up your retirement. You know what you want that to look like. Okay. And so with that, you have to have a plan. It's funny because I told you my clients stay in here, right? So we're talking about like, the things that you're thinking about. You want to think, like, remember we talked about earlier, you want to think, what's that person? Who's the person that I want to be? It's not
Right.
just right now, but who do I want to be down the line? And so I think a lot of times the total misconception is, and I love it. We always say African American in the African American culture, these things are happening, but it is happening everywhere. It is
Right.
the thing is, all Americans, I feel like, are struggling with these same things. It's just we hear about it often. And so the thing is, you want to think, okay, how do we need to do this? And it's making a plan. Making a plan. If you can make a plan for your retirement, for your everything else, you want to make a plan for what does it look like down the line for me to live. So for me, I don't want to be on medication when I get older. I want to be
Mm.
able to wear whatever clothes I want to wear. I want to go on cruises. I don't want to be walking with a cane. I want to be able to go wherever I want to go. I don't want to ask permission to live, okay, and do anything I want to do. I don't want to ask my body permission. Can I get up? Can I do this? Am I eking and creaking and hurting and stuff like that? I know what I want. And so I'm thinking long term. And I have family members who've lived to over 100. I want that. I want that.
Right.
And I want it like we have an aunt, a great aunt. She passed 2 years ago. She was 103, lived on her own until she passed, and even and walked to church every week. Did not let people stress her out or argue in her house or around her house. Ate all of her food from home cooked food. Like she Mississippi. So she's Mississippi old school Black woman making soul food and good stuff. But she had veggies. She had all these things that helped her to take care of herself, and she lived
Mm.
a simple lifestyle. But she planned in her head, what do I want? What do I want? And so a lot of times we don't plan what we want. So we get sucked into somebody else's plan for us. So a lot of times the plan for us that's already being set up in our society is, all right, you'll be in your 20s, you'll be fine. 30s, you'll be okay. In your 40s, you're going to start getting sick. Okay, you'll start gaining a little bit of weight. You get that belly fat. You'll gain weight all over. You get a few bigger clothes. And then after that, you'll go to your physical, maybe mid 40s, early 40s, late 40s. And every physical, it'll get a little more scary because we might have another diagnosis. We might have the doctor telling us, all right, you got to lose weight this time. You got to do this. You got to do that. And every time you go, or hey, we're just going to start you on this low dose. And that's the thing. It's just going to be a low dose blood pressure medication. We're going to start doing this low dose cholesterol medication. Oh, it's just pre-diabetes. And they downplay what's going on. And then we accept it and we just go with it. So then every visit is, here's a higher dosage. Here's a higher dosage of this. Here's, oh, let's get another test in because we're seeing something else. And then here's another diagnosis. And then next thing you know, we're getting older and older. Our medication lists are getting longer. Okay. Those orange bottles are piling up on the nightstand table. And next thing you know, you're taking tons of meds. You are out of breath and tired doing simple things. You're not happy with your body. Your energy is low. And you're like, how did I get here? And you're in your 50s and your 60s. And you're like, this is not the life I wanted. But at that point, you're so in a momentum of just going with it that you don't shake yourself and get out of it unless sometimes something bad happens. And then people are like, oh, let me do something different. But then even after the event, like a heart attack or something else like that, or they have to start taking insulin with shots, then what happens? Oh, okay. I'm going to take care. I'm going to get better. And then they go back to their default. Like you said, after I ran for 4 months, I did good. And then in 4 months, you get tired and you go back to your default because you feel like it's easier because this didn't change. And so we get into that routine, and then we get into a place where it's like, well, 60s, 70s, 80s, I'm supposed to be getting sick, older. Somebody's going to take care of me, change my diaper and wipe my behind. And then after that, I'm going to live in my kid's living room and in my hospital bed. And I'm going to just go to a rehab center, or somebody's going to take care of me until I'm gone. That's a horrible life.
It is.
That's a horrible life, And that's what a lot of times people don't realize, that if you don't plan your life, somebody else has already got it planned out
for you.
Pharmaceutical companies, they've got it planned out for you. They got an option for you. The hospitals, they've got a room for you. The rehab center, they've got a room for you. But you got to decide where you want your room. You got to decide what you want it to look like. You got to decide where you want to be and how you want to live. You got to do that now.
Oh, that can preach. That can preach.
Yeah.
That can preach.
That's the thing. That's where the structure starts, because you're not thinking just now. You're thinking for the long haul.
Right. So I want to turn to something that I always go back and forth with when it comes to Mother Earth taking different herbs and all of that. Like, is some of that good for you, or is it not good for you? Because I know you have people out there that do the different things. And then the other thing that I want to talk about, but we'll talk about this first, and then I want to go back to something that we talked about at the beginning when you're talking about these diets. There's so many out there, and it's like every day a different one is popping up, and it's like, okay, like, which one should I follow, or should I even follow any of them? But like you said, it's a mindset. But let's talk about this, Mother Earth, these herbs, and do those things work? What is your opinion or your thoughts on those?
Okay. I love that question. I get this question oftentimes, and especially it's more so drawn, especially to vitamins and minerals and things like that I get these questions about. Because what will happen is, you hear, like, especially during COVID, I think we all heard it, right? What are the vitamins you're supposed to take during COVID? Take some zinc, take some vitamin D, take, for calcium, or not calcium, but vitamin C, all the things. We heard all the things that you were supposed to take during COVID. And sometimes people still continue to take these. All right. But the thing is, it's like, but wait a minute. Guess what? You can't out-vitamin a bad diet. Okay. And so you can't out-vitamin a bad diet. You can't out-supplement a bad diet. You are going to have to say, okay, first off, you got to remember, when you look at vitamins and minerals, they are called supplements. Supplements, not main mints. Okay. Not only mints. Okay. But supplements. So it's there to supplement what's going on in the main part of the category. All right. So you're eating, your lifestyle, the things that you're taking in, your healthy lifestyle, your healthy food, all that kind of stuff. That's the main event. And so you want to make sure that your main event is intact. And then if you're going to take vitamins and minerals, stop going out there and just, well, they said that this is good for me. Let me go ahead and take it. And you go to the store and you pick it up and you take it. And you don't even know if you're low in it. You don't know if you need it. You don't know what form you need. You're just picking stuff up, putting it in your body and hoping that it works. This is why you want to go to the doctor. And if you're interested, or if you have symptoms or something that's going on, let's get checked out. And then if you have some concerns about something specific, like, hey, I'm not sure if I'm getting enough vitamin D, let's go ahead and test that first. Let's see where your levels are. See if you need an over-the-counter dose, or do you need a therapeutic dose, which is something that's going to be way higher dosage than what you'll find on the shelf at your grocery store or at your CVS or wherever. But this is an amount that you're going to need to take that is going to be higher than that. And your doctor's usually going to need to prescribe that to you. So that way you can go ahead and fill the tank up. Okay. And so with that, you want to make sure that you are getting what you need specifically, and you want to make sure you're getting it in the right amounts. So stop just taking stuff because somebody told you it's good for you. Okay. Because it could, you could be taking it and it's like, it might not be helping, but sometimes it might be hurting. There's rare occasions when that's happening, but the thing is, you might not be doing anything. So except for making really fancy pee. Okay, because your body didn't need it. So if you're already topped off and you're at good levels, like your water soluble vitamins, you take all these extra water soluble vitamins that you don't need. If you are already there, guess what? You just got highlighter color urine. That's all. That's really fancy, and you just threw everything you put in your mouth down the toilet, literally. Okay, so that's real honesty, truth.
Oh, sorry.
I'm a dietitian. I talk about bodily fluids and all kinds of stuff on there. So
You said fancy pee.
Fancy pee, right?
I've never heard anybody say that, but okay, fancy pee.
Right.
All right.
We don't want that. We don't want that.
No.
So you want to make sure that you're getting something where that your body really needs. I get people coming to me all the time, and when we start working together, I'm like, send me the list of all the supplements that you've been taking. And I get people taking like 15, 16 things, if not more. And then we go through the list, and then we go through their labs, and I'm like, you don't need this. You just need this or whatever. And then check that back in with your doctor, and let's figure this out and do this the right way. So you need to have a professional that knows what they're doing that can help guide you in that right direction.
So I appreciate you saying that that whole fancy pee. I'll never forget that. I've never heard nobody say that, but fancy pee. Okay. All right. So I want to go back to I start thinking about this as you have been talking. Your body is the temple, and so and it was like the Holy Spirit just hit me with it, because understanding what you put in your body is, either making it better or making it worse. And we have to just like what you read, what you listen to, all of that, and how the consumption can either be in a negative or be in a positive. Just like what you consume, what will it do? So when I'm saying this, I want you to talk on this, because I've seen it pop up on TikTok so many times, and it's a popular thing. This mukbang, I think that's how you pronounce it, when people sit in front of and they just eat. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, how do you not it blows my mind that people can just sit in front of. Like, I'm not judging nobody. Hey, do what you want.
Do what you gotta do for money, I guess. I don't know, but okay.
But it blows my mind that people sit in front and people get likes for somebody sitting in front of there and just eating. I was like, well, if I would have known that I can get paid for just sitting in front, I would have did it. I would have did it a long time ago. I mean, I'll be doing it every day. Like, I'll go somewhere every day and just sit and just talk, just have a conversation like this and eat. Mm-hmm. But again, like, how is that putting that food into your body? How is that, I guess, destroying it? Or like when they do those types of videos, like what are your thoughts on that?
So I love that you asked that. I was wondering, I was like, what is he about to ask me about on TikTok? Okay. So yeah, with the mukbangs, oh my God, those drive me crazy. And the thing is, we live in such an interesting society, especially here in the United States. Everything is sensationalism and social media and who can get more likes and views and this, that, and the other, and money. Everything is money and living a certain lifestyle and appearing a certain way. And that's, if you think about it, a lot of times when people even make a lot of lifestyle changes, they're thinking about appearance, but they're not thinking about health. They're thinking about what other people can see, but not necessarily what's good for them. That's why people will do any kind of diet. And then they'll be like, oh, like have you heard of like the carnivore diet? I'm only eating meat and bacon and, all these things, or I'm only doing cabbage soup, or I'm only drinking whatever, like you get people doing all these kind of crazy things because they're caring more about the outside and appearing a certain way than the inside. And what is this doing to me? What is this doing to me? So with those mukbangs, like that makes me sad for those people, because you will do whatever it takes to get likes and all these things for money. And guess what? That's one thing that you can't buy. You can buy medicine, you can buy a hospital bed, you can buy all these things, but you can't buy health. You can't buy health. And so you're not going to be able to come back from that, especially if that's your everyday routine, like professional eaters and stuff like that, who eat excessive amounts of food, for a living, and they practice this. And it's usually not good, healthy food. Like that can be really, really scary. That can be really scary over the long haul. And so you want to think like, how is this going to work for me in the long haul? Because what you're doing is one thing that I teach, and this is really the core of a lot of what I teach my clients, is intuitive eating. Okay. And I love what you said, the body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. So with that, knowing intuitive eating, knowing that, number one, God created all of us, with we got the same makeup, we got the same business. All right. We got the same digestive tract. It's supposed to work a certain way. Right. So when you were a baby, okay, you've been around babies before. When you were a baby, all right, you weren't like, oh, let me eat until, oh, is this too much milk? I don't know if that's too much milk. Do I need to have more milk? I don't know. Was this milk good for me? Where'd this milk come from? Like we weren't asking all those questions. What did we do when we were hungry? We cried until somebody fed us. And then when we got fed, we ate until we were satisfied. And the thing is, when we do that, we are listening to our bodies and we're honoring ourselves. Remember what we talked about in the beginning of the call about why sometimes it's difficult for you to go on cruises and stuff? It's because it's easy for you to dishonor yourself. And that's the thing. When it comes to your health goals, it's easy for you to dishonor yourself because you didn't want to do certain things in the first place. But the thing is, those diets you didn't want to do in the first place. So it's easy to dishonor those because they don't honor and value who you are as a person as you do things. And so with that, it's like, okay, so knowing this, all right, I need to think, how do I value myself? And that's what intuitive eating. So the thing is, getting back to your intuitive eater. When you were a baby, you cried when you were hungry, you ate. And when you were finished, you stopped. When you were satiated, when you had enough. And we get through this phase of, growing up, and you have mama and grandma at the table, eat all the food on your plate. Don't leave food on your plate because there's starving kids somewhere. All right. All these things, like we can't reheat the food later or whatever. I don't know, or if we send them that plate, it's not going to be molded by the time they get it. But okay, that's besides the point. But the thing is, it's like, okay, if I know this, if I know that I am satiated at this point, most people don't stop when they're satisfied. Most people don't know when they're satisfied. Most people eat when they're hungry. Okay. And a lot of times they eat when they're over hungry. And then when you finally do start eating, and that food is so good, especially if you get some comfort food or something like that. And then if you're eating and doing something else, you are totally bypassing all of your internal cues that says, hey, Kevin, you've had enough. You're full. You can stop now. You don't need any more. And you keep going and keep going and keep going, keep going, because you're like, oh, other external cues are telling you it's still food on your plate. It's still, it's still something else in the bag. Oh, well, I wanted to eat all of this. And it's so nostalgic to have this. It's cold outside and I like to eat this when it's cold. Or I want to cruise. And, when I want to cruise, I do this, because I'm in this certain place. Or everybody else is eating. So I'm going to eat and I'm going to keep eating because, everybody else is still eating, and so you use those external cues to drive what you do. And so the thing is, it's important to not let external cues drive what you do, but you have to get your intuitive eater to wake back up. So that way you eat till you're hungry. When you're hungry, eat until you're satisfied. And there's three things. I'm going to give you this real quick. Okay. When it comes to your intuitive eater, you want to respect your hunger. Okay. You want to respect your hunger, honor your satisfaction or your fullness. And then you want to enjoy the pleasure of eating. Okay. The thing is, if you're doing all of this and you don't enjoy what you're eating, it's a waste. It's a complete waste. So the thing is, you want to honor your hunger. I'm hungry. Let me eat something. You want to respect your satisfaction. Okay, I did it. I can stop now. But you need to learn where your satisfaction is, where most people don't know. And then after that, you want to enjoy the pleasure of eating. And so if you do all three of those things, and the thing is, the goal is to do all three every single time you eat. It's not just do one. It's not, okay, I'm hungry, and then I eat till I'm full, and then I don't enjoy the food anymore. Okay. I don't enjoy the food anymore because have you ever eaten something before so good in the beginning and then afterwards you feel so like, oh my God, if somebody could just unzip the side of my body because Jesus, I'm full. Okay. All right. You're dishonoring your body at that point. You're dishonoring the gift that you've been given by putting food in it that it said, I'm done. I'm done. And you just kept going.
Woo. Woo. Shame the devil tonight. Amen.
Come on now.
Yeah. I didn't know you was come this hard, but amen. Praise God. Praise God. All right. So diets. So I know Atkins, I know keto, I know pescatarian, I know Daniels. I could keep going on and on. And so it's like and then I watch these other videos and it's like stop doing all these different diets. They don't help because you'll do it for a while and then go into whatever. I've seen people do the juicing, which I know it has all of the healthy vitamins in the fruits and the vegetables, but how long can you sustain that for a period of time? I will tell you, so me being on TikTok, that was the first issue problem. So I got on TikTok one night and I was watching this lady. She said, "Hey, follow me as I continue on this day, this journey of 31 days of eating just vegetables." So this was last year. So I was looking at this in February. She did it for the month of January. So I was like, oh, I could do that. I was like, oh, I'm going to do that. So in March, I took that on. Now, was it hard the first time? It was extremely hard because you're trying to think in your mind, okay, I'm only eating vegetables and I got to switch it up because I can't just eat the same thing over and over. And it's 31 days in March. So I'm like, okay. I said, what was I thinking? But I had my best friend, he became my accountability partner because he was like, hey, I'll do it with you. Okay. So he did it with me. Now, did I slip up? I did. Yeah. And so I had to, one, tell him that I slipped up. Two, I had to add some extra days going into April because I felt bad about doing it. But Brittany, with all that happening, he continued on and I stopped because I was like at 30. I mean, when I did my 31 days, even though it was into April, I was like, I'm stopping. But he kept going on. And so when I look at these diets, I just want you to talk about them because I know so many people get on them. Are they good? Are they bad? It just depends on the person. It depends on your mindset. Like what is it about all these diets that's coming up every time you turn around? There's a new diet.
Okay. So my first question for you is, okay, when you look at different things like keto or Atkins, do you like carbs? Bread, rice, cereal, pasta. Do you like?
I like pasta.
All right, you like Little Debbie's. Okay, we're gonna put that. All right, we're gonna do that. Okay, no shade. It's all good.
Wow.
I love it. So with that, okay, you like carbs. And the thing is, if I told you for the rest of your life you can't have carbs, you'd be looking at me a little sideways. Like, what? Why? That's crazy, right? Is it worth it? The thing is, you want to think, why do you think there's 3 big macronutrient groups: carbs, fat, and protein? Why do you think that they're all important? The thing is, when you don't do certain things, when you don't have any fat in your diet and you just have veggies, guess what? Your vitamin A, your vitamin D, your vitamin E, your vitamin K, those fat soluble vitamins can't be absorbed because you don't have anything to absorb them with. Okay. You need to take fat in. So fat's important. All right. Fat's important for your hair and nail growth, for your skin to look good. Okay. All these things for your hormones to be properly produced. You know, if you're getting your groove on and you want to be whatever. All right. All right. That kind of stuff. That married people out there, look, that's important to have enough fat. So that way.
Thank you for saying married people.
That's right. That's right. Oh yeah. We ain't throwing you into the sin bin. Okay. We're not doing it. All right, ladies. He's available for other stuff, but not for that. Okay. We're taking applications. But nothing else. Okay. Nothing else. Not yet. All right. You got to prove yourself. Okay.
Oh man. Oh, we live too.
We are super live. All right.
Amen.
I just want to throw it out there, you know.
Okay.
Throw it out there. You don't know what you'll catch if you don't throw it out. You know, throw it out for mother. Okay.
Amen.
So with that, everything is important. Carbs are important. It's your body's energy source. Okay. Right. The reason why protein is important, it's the building blocks of nutrition. It is important for you to have amounts of protein, the proper amounts of protein, so your body can sustain itself. And it doesn't have to be animal-based protein. It could be plant-based protein. But the thing is, what happens is most people get into this diet. Any diet is usually going to restrict something. It's going to take something away. It's going to take away all carbs. It's going to take away all sugar. It's going to take away all solid foods. It's going to take away carbs and fats and veggies. And, you know, it's going to do whatever it's going to do depending on the kind of diet it is. And then after you stop doing that, okay, because you're doing this, why? Because I want to lose weight or I want to be healthier, but you really want to lose weight. Okay. All right. I know people who do the Daniel fast and they really want to please God, but they really want to please themselves in the mirror and look better. But, you know, it's okay. It's okay. So with that, you know, the thing is when you do these diets, okay, because the Daniel fast is not a diet, it's a fast, but, you know, it's okay. That's another conversation. Amen. But the thing is, when you're doing these diets, you're always going to take something away. I want you to look at it. I'll hit it from two angles. Number one, from a spiritual angle. God is a God of abundance, not a God of restriction. So he's put certain foods here in abundance for us, but we're so busy trying to restrict and cut things out, or we've gotten on the Babylon diet, okay, where we want to eat the king's food. And so that's the American diet, like the SAD diet, the standard American diet, where it's a lot of processed carbs and grains and all this other kind of stuff and meats and processed meats and quick and fast everything. And so with that, it's like, wait a minute. We want to restrict those kind of things. And then it's hard because it's like, wait, that diet didn't teach you anything. Okay. That diet didn't teach you anything as you're doing that kind of stuff. And so you want to think God is giving you a diet of abundance to have, but you are shushing it away. You're pushing it away because you want to have whatever you want to have. And then your body starts messing up and doing what it wants to do when you put that junk in your body. And then afterwards you're like, oh, what's happening? Well, I'm gonna cut everything off. And it's like, no. Just live a healthy lifestyle, okay? You don't take an extra good shower on Sundays. You take a shower every day, and hopefully you wash the same and use the same amount of soap and deodorant on a regular basis. So it's just getting into a lifestyle. So a lifestyle is so much more important than a diet. A diet is going to be restrictive. It's going to be short term. It's going to be miserable for the most part. And when you stop doing it, generally you're going to gain more weight back than you did lose initially with the diet. And so that's why you have that big Luther, little Luther situation that happens. And this happens with everybody where your set point goes down and then it comes up and it comes up even higher and then it's harder. And every diet, it's harder to lose weight because your body becomes resistant because it thinks something is wrong. And so it's like, let me save this person. Let me save you because you are constantly going into this famine and I want to make sure you're okay. Okay. And so the thing is, that's why a healthy lifestyle is so much more important than a diet. Because the thing is, the diet is only temporary. Your body is going to become resistant to it. And the thing is, you're not going to stick with it anyway. So, you know, right, you're not going to stick with it anyway. So that's why, remember we talked about in the beginning about what is your plan? What do you want your life to look like? And so if you know what your plan is, okay, my plan is to live this kind of lifestyle. I don't want to have these conditions because this runs in my family, all these kinds of things. Okay, well, what do we need to do to get there? And then you do those things, but you don't diet to do those things. You just eat a healthy lifestyle or eat a different way. So that way you don't end up in a place where you don't want to be. So you want to do something for the long haul, not for a temporary short run. Because after you do every diet, guess what you learned? Nothing. You feel worse about yourself. You feel like you have a lot of times people have lower self-esteem afterwards because they feel like something's wrong with me. Why can't I do this? Why can't this work? Why I have no willpower? What's wrong with me? And those messages stick here and it translates into other areas of your life. And that's not good. That's not good. And so you don't want to set yourself up for constantly failing and then giving yourself this mental, mindset that says there's something wrong with me. I don't think I can lose. I think something's wrong with my body, or there's an issue with me, or why can't I stick with anything? I have a problem with consistency. No, you just are doing things that you don't like doing. That's all. And then you want it to stick. So you're punishing yourself and you're like, I hope I like this punishment this time and I can stick with it for the rest of my life. Send me to my room forever. No, it ain't gonna work like that. Okay. So you have to get to a place where you have to know, okay, I need to stick to a better plan for a lifestyle change and not for a quick fix. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. Thank you. So I want to hit on one more topic, and then I'm gonna go to these myths about nutrition. So mental health plays a part in when it comes to nutrition. I think it plays a part when it comes to fitness overall. What are your thoughts when it comes to mental health? I'm a big advocate for mental health. I'm a big advocate for, doing the things you need to do to make sure that that you're good overall. And I know one of those things is, how you feel about yourself and how you look and what you're putting into your body. It can be mental. And so what would you say about that?
This is why I incorporate mindset anytime I work with somebody, because if you don't feel good here and you don't feel good here in who you are at your core, what's going to happen is that's going to drive your food behavior. Okay. So how you eat, what you choose, oftentimes is a reflection of you. So you put garbage in because you feel kind of garbagey, because you don't fully respect yourself, because you don't have a good space, or something is disrupted, or you have grief that's overrunning, or you are super stressed and you're not managing it. And so because of that, it's managing you and it's causing you to go ahead and be driven to comfort food all the time and different things like that. So generally, whenever we talk about food, it's never just food. Okay. As a dietitian, and you can talk to most dietitians, any good dietitian will let you know, it's never usually just food we're talking about. We're talking about your life. We're talking about your life. And the thing is, if you have a messed up marriage and something's going on with your kids, and your spiritual life is messed up, or you feel like you're disconnected from your family, or you're really stressed at work, or you're scared of losing your job, or whatever, or things like that, like all that's connected. I don't drink enough water because my job is watching me like a hawk, and I'm scared to take too many bathroom breaks because my cubicle neighbor is going to say something. And so because of that, I don't drink enough water. And so I keep getting these UTIs. You see how it all comes together? And it sounds really trivial and crazy, but it's just that simple, that kind of stuff can happen. Or I'm scared of, I see this often, like people, especially people of color, I see this often. Well, I have to work twice as hard as everybody else, which is a myth, so I have to work twice as hard as everybody else in order for me to be accepted, or whatever it may be. And so because of that, you work through lunch, you don't take vacation, you don't eat breakfast, you get there early, you stay late, all these things, and you haven't eaten. And so because of that, when you get off work, what do you want to do? Oh my God, I'm so stressed. So you want to feed that stress. You want to feed where there's dis-ease, wherever there's discomfort in your body, you want to create comfort. And so with that comfort, what do you want to do? You want to eat. You want to eat. Okay. And so it's like, what can I eat that's going to make me feel good, even if it's temporary? And so you get into night after night after night of doing that, or a little night after night, nightcap of wine, or whatever it is. What happens? It starts backfiring on you. And then we start creating habits that start creating problems that need to be fixed. And so mental health, how we think about our bodies, ourselves, our health, is often reflected in how and what we eat and what we put into our bodies.
Okay. I appreciate you saying that. All right. So the myths. All right. So the first one. All right. It says eating healthy is too expensive.
I love it when people say that. Okay, so you want me to give some feedback on this, or what you want me to do?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so eating healthy is too expensive. So I'm gonna give you an example. You go to, I don't know, Chick-fil-A. Okay, you go to Chick-fil-A, you get, I know, right? You go to Chick-fil-A, you get a meal, okay, you get your little tender meal or whatever you're gonna get, and you get your fries and your meal and your lemonade, and you get your chicken tenders and your sauce and all that good stuff. You eat it, okay, it gave you very few nutrients and vitamins and minerals. It's full of a lot of fake stuff and injected everything and all this other kind of stuff. And then guess what? You are gonna be hungry maybe about 2 or 3 hours later, and you're gonna be scavenging for something else. So you pay $10 for that meal. I don't know what the price is, but let's say roughly $10 for the meal. And then guess what? In another 2 or 3 hours, you're going to be scavenging for something else. But healthier food is going to make you feel fuller or more satiated for longer. And so you're not scavenging for something later and then try to re-up and then get another $10 meal to cover up for what you didn't get enough of at that first $10 meal. So you want to think, I'm probably spending double when I'm eating more processed junk food, quick fix food, different things like that, because I'm hungrier quicker. It's like the whole Chinese food myth. You ever heard anybody talk about like you eat Chinese food and like an hour later, you're like, I'm starving. Okay. Is that same kind of thing? You know, and it happens with all different kinds of food. When you don't get nutrient dense food, your body is like, okay, so you're going to give me something else that's going to fill that bucket. And so you're going to eat again and eat more food that's more food than you probably would if you were to have actual healthy food, which is really not more expensive. It's just, it takes a lot more effort, time, and energy, more so than anything, than it does money. And a lot of times it's a little more thought space that's going to take up more than that. But then after a while, if you think about, okay, healthy eating is expensive, you know what? Unhealthy eating is very expensive because it can cause you blood pressure meds, diabetes meds, insulin, heart disease. It can cause you other kind of amputations and different things like that down the line, and other complications that you don't want to deal with that you're going to have to pay insurance for. And then time, energy, and effort, like down the line, like you don't want that. So no, it's not better to have junk food.
So I think this one is kind of interesting. You shouldn't eat anything after 7 p.m., not even a grape. Not even a grape.
Not even a grape. Okay, so if you go to bed at 11, let's say that's your natural bedtime, that you go to bed at 11. And or say, for instance, you travel and it's after 7 o'clock where you're going or whatever. Like that just doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. The thing is, this remember we talked about the intuitive eater, respect your hunger. Okay, that's the first part, respect your hunger. So if you're hungry, your body is telling you something. And this is the thing. We've gotten into a bad relationship with our food or with our bodies, where if we're hungry, we like, girl, you're not hungry. You're not hungry. Be quiet. Shh, shh. You're not hungry. Just go to bed. Just go to bed. You know, I got this goal. I'm no eating after 7. And I'm just go to bed. Okay. I see this people who do a lot of these diets and like Weight Watchers and stuff like that over and over again. They eat until they either reach their points or whatever. And then they get to the 7 o'clock. Well, I'm just going to go to bed or whatever. I'm just going to suffer through it and be hungry and grumpy and mean and angry. That's crazy. You are dishonoring your body. So the thing is, if you're prepared, if you're not prepared, you're going to be scared. But if you are prepared, you won't be scared. And most people are not prepared with something to eat after 7. If it's after their dinner time, they don't have something good and healthy to eat. So they're scared of, what am I going to find? Am I going to get a glass of wine, Little Debbie, a big bag of popcorn that's unlimited?
Throw that Little Debbie
right?
in there.
It's okay. You're going to throw them Little Debbie's out tonight. Okay.
Amen. Amen.
But the thing is, like you go searching for something that's in the kitchen that maybe you bought, because if you bought it, it's because you wanted to eat it. And then you're like, then I feel bad, or you're not doing the right thing, or you're not doing the right thing for you, and you don't feel the best about what you ate. Does that make sense?
Yep. All right, the next one. Calories in, calories out is all that matters when it comes to weight loss.
Okay. So that's a lie. Okay. If it was that easy, I wouldn't have a job. If it was that easy, you would just use your little MyFitnessPal and you would say, you know what? This is how much I eat. This is how much let me calculate for my height and weight and my activity level. And then I'm just going to eat less. And then boom, I'm going to lose weight. But you can ask people over and over and over again. That's not it. That's not it. It's so many other factors that go into weight loss. It goes in, activity level. Are you doing the right kind of activity for the age and stage of life where you're in? Okay. Also hormonal changes. Like, are your hormones in balance or out of balance? And that could be your blood sugar, that could be your estrogen, that could be your cortisol. There's so many different things that could be out of balance that could cause all this to have a hard time with trying to lose weight. Okay. There's so many different factors that weigh in. If, you might have an uncontrolled chronic condition or even an undiagnosed chronic condition that you might not know of that is keeping you from being able to release the weight. And so all of those things are things that you want to think about. And if it was as easy as calories in versus calories out, everything would be great and everybody be losing.
True.
Right.
Okay. So this is the last one. And I'm glad that I stumbled on this one because I'm going to say this. Let me say what it is. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Now, I've never really been a breakfast person because in the morning you get up and you rush into work, you get to work and you start your day. And so now I'll drink a cup of coffee every day. Like I love coffee.
Coffee and conversations.
Facts.
There we go.
But, you're so funny. But I wouldn't. I don't eat nothing until really lunch. But I might snack on something. But I'll eat lunch. And so I wanted you to talk about this because I hear it all the time. Breakfast is the most important part of the day. And I've heard people say, well, it gets your motors running in the morning and all of that. And so I just want to know, the myth behind it and what your thoughts are on it.
Okay. So first off, this is a hard one. It's not really a hard one. It's a lot to it. So when it comes to breakfast is the most important meal of the day, we want to look at first off, where did this come from? So this came from a lot of times, a lot of these phrases like that you've heard, like, about milk, and milk is the best way of getting calcium and, all these things and stuff like that. A lot of this stuff came from our government. Okay. And it is a campaign in order to push certain things. So with that was a campaign to push breakfast food, to push like a lot of the industrially produced stuff. And then other things like the eggs and meat and breakfast meats and different things like that, cereals and the grain department or grain, agricultural department, and all that kind of stuff like that. Okay. The Grain Council, all that kind of stuff is being pushed with that. Milk is being pushed. All these things are being pushed with that. So I do believe, I do believe that all meals matter. Okay. All right. All meals matter. All right. All meals matter. So the thing is, it goes back to that intuitive eater again. If you're hungry in the morning, eat something. It doesn't have to be something huge. It could be something small. It could be something what I like to call a smeal. So it could be small snacks put together to create a balanced meal. So it could be like an apple and some, apple and some peanut butter and, something else that you might want, maybe some celery or something. I don't know, whatever you want to put in there, but figure out what works for you. You got to figure out what works for you. And so the thing is, it might not be something huge, but it might be something small and it's something that's fitted for you. And it might not be breakfast food. Get out of the box. Get out of the box. A lot of times people want eggs and bacon and sausage and breakfast sandwich it to death. You might want spaghetti from last night's dinner and a side salad.
Hey.
Hello, come on, breakfast. Okay. So like breakfast, it's a time of day. That's all it is. It's a time of day that you're eating. It doesn't mean that it has to be this specific food. So the thing is, I feel all meals matter. If your body is saying you should eat, I think it's important for you to eat a little bit earlier in the day, because what happens is when you don't eat breakfast, a lot of times what will happen is all that needing to eat and all the nutrient needs that you have for your body, what'll happen is because you had just coffee in the morning and then in the middle of the day, you eat like this massive lunch or a good lunch. And then at night, you're like, I'm starving. And you go in on dinner, But then after that, you're like, but I want some snacks too. Okay. And then so you want to snack before bed because your body is like, I still need the nutrients that I need for the day. So you're not finished yet. So
Right.
the later you start, usually the later you end. Okay. And so the thing is, it's good to start earlier. So that way you're not finishing so late. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay.
It does. So I want to have you do your final thoughts. Anything that you want to say, anything you want to talk about. The floor is yours, Brittany.
All right. Well, first off, I want to say thank you so much, so much, so much, Kevin, for having me on Coffee and Conversations with Kevin Smith tonight. It has been my absolute pleasure to be here, and I had a great time. And I hope that you all got something from this tonight. And if you had to get one takeaway from me, I want you to remember to make a plan. Think about what you want, not just now, but what you want for the long haul. Because the thing is, a lot of times we think for right now. And if we think for right now and only right now, we will eat to please our flesh right now, to please our bodies right now. But if you want to think long haul and you want to think, what does that look like? What kind of life do I want to have? What kind of person do I need to be in order to get there? Look, I want to help you out with that. Okay. I want to help you out with that. I want to help you craft and create a plan for yourself. And I want to help you implement that plan so that way you know what to do, because most people don't have any issues with knowing what is healthy, if you will. But most people have a hard time with implementation and really knowing what's right and getting rid of that diet mentality. And so with that, I want to help you to get where you need to go. And one of the things that I want you to do is create that plan for you. And then if you need help, I want to offer my services to you. I want to offer my help to you. And that's through my program. My company is called 180 Well, where ultimately we help you turn from chronic sickness to total wellness. And my program is the Well Body University, Well Body University, and that's YOU University. And the thing is because you're going to come in and you're going to work on you, learning you, your body, how it works, and getting back to that intuitive eater. So that way you can get rid of chronic conditions and unwanted weight and other issues that you're going to come up with or come up against. So that way you can start having great doctor's visits, so you can have energy out the wazoo, so that you can start feeling good in and about your body with your clothes on or your clothes off. All right. I want you to have all of these things set up so that way you feel really amazing and awesome about yourself and what you're doing with and for yourself. And that ultimately you have a healthy relationship with your body and food for the long haul. And it's not a temporary quick fix. And so if you need help with that, I want you to go to my website. It's www.get180well, get180well.com. And there you'll be able to see testimonials. You'll get to learn more about the Well Body University program. And you will also be able to you'll also be able to schedule a discovery call, a free discovery call with me, where you and I will get on a call. We'll discuss where you are, what you need, how I can help you, and then we'll discuss what it looks like for us to work together. So if that is what you need and you're ready to take a next step further, you want somebody to help you craft that plan, but not just craft the plan, but really walk that plan out. I want to be the one to help you do that and get you to where you want to be and beyond. So thanks so much for popping in, but create your plan so you can create the life that you want, not just now, but for the long haul. I'm living to past 100, and I hope that you can come with me. All right.
All right. Well, thank you, Brittany, for that. Thank you so much. You put so much information out there. I can't wait for people to go back, share this conversation. This is conversation number 20. I'm so happy that Brittany was able to do this conversation. I look to probably have her back down the road in another conversation so we can talk more. But definitely appreciate it. Now, next week, I told you I've been doing these series. God giving me these series. So, Brittany, you have children, and do you have you yes?
Yeah, well, we're the only people in Texas with one child.
Okay. So you know your child's teachers?
Yes.
Okay, so next week I'm starting a 2-part series on honoring teachers in the classroom. So I'm looking forward to that. I have 3 very exciting guests that are teachers that are coming on, and we're going to talk about what it means to be a teacher and all of that. So I'm looking forward to that for the next 2 weeks, talking about teachers and honoring them. I think they don't get honored enough. So I'm looking forward to those conversations. So join me next week. Again, right here, 7 p.m. on Tuesday on Facebook Live. I look forward to having those conversations. So, whether it's in the morning, mid afternoon, or late at night, a good conversation and a cup of Joe will always get you right. This has been Kevin Smith, Coffee and Conversation. Have a good night.